of years we were along. Our fall meeting happened at the same time as the folklorists.
Mm-hmm. Oh, the American Folklore Society?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we used to be, for a couple of years we were in Philadelphia and in San Francisco, maybe one other place. We were in the same city at the same time, or just around the same time. Go to some of their stuff. Which was interesting, because they have tons of members.
Right.
I mean, they're way bigger. And they do, academic papers, plus organizational type things.
Right.
They just have a lot going on. I mean, we have a lot going on too, but it still seems very folksy, grassroots, which, it's never, I don't think I'd ever want it to change completely.
Right.
But I think that we could approach how, the thing is the money hasn't been there to do that, and even to bring in the panelists that we could maybe bring in.
Sure. Yeah, you'd have to, you rely pretty much on members to do your panels, as you said, yeah. And
and there might be one or two in any given conference. Like the fellow that was doing, Ed, did you go to any of those, I don't know if he was I don't think he was in Boston. He was maybe in Washington, D.C. and Toronto.
Who was it? I wasn't at those conferences.
I think his last name, Ed something. He was really good in terms of organizational structure. He's been 2 or 3 times.
Now, what would, at the board meetings when you were on there, you have 4 years now, I mean, and I guess it's going back some time, but I mean, what were I'm wondering what would you meet about? I mean, was it all conference planning, or? Okay.
God. I mean, we had committees with reports, so there was site selection and that kind of thing. Programming and...
Right.
And just, we had issues around, the first year was working on and getting, we voted up the mission statement and all that, so that was basically set.
Right.
The steering committee. First year was still discussion of a lot of things, how to run an election, that kind of thing.
Right.
Working on the 501c3 status.
Right. So kind of getting the organization going.
Up and going.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And then when Phyllis came on, we started reading the Carver book.
The Carver.
Carver Boards That Make a Difference.
Okay, I'm not familiar.
We started trying to move from, because we were all really involved in aspects of, it was a working board.
Oh, a managerial board.
Yeah.
Which EDs hate.
We didn't have staff.
Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't have an ED.
Right.
So we hired Art.
Yes.
And he was our office manager, basically.
Sure.
And so that was another whole thing. We had to hammer out all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
What we're going to pay him, where we're going to get the money.
Right.
Thing is that the conference itself has made money. The first few years it made money every year.
Right.
And that was all, treasurer's report, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, okay.
So once we finally hired someone to do, because people were maintaining, Art was doing mailing list stuff and whatever for nothing.
Yeah.
People were doing, once we actually had a staff person that people could phone and maintain a mailing list of membership. Yeah, how membership was going to work, all those kinds of things we hadn't really hammered out in the steering committee.
Sure.
It was just getting the bare bones up and the principles in place.
Was the mission statement ultimately relatively easy to hammer out? It seems pretty, Okay. Well, what would...
Well, professional. The word professional.
Really?
Coming up, and we went back and forth on that a lot.
What was
It really helped with that thing.
What was the concern about that? Just that it doesn't sound. It sounds like it leaves too many out.
It was our inclusiveness thing. And the dance. Dance is another thing that's always kind of been a little bit of a monkey wrench.
Right.
Because we've never really represented it.
Yeah.
And we were trying to be very inclusive there. There were a lot of dance people at the beginning.
Yeah.
Not a lot, but there were definitely dance people at the beginning.
Right.
And like Charlie Pilzer, I mean, he's still around.
Right.
Yeah.
So the idea of professionalism, and I guess that just turned people off in some respects?
Well, then we were worried that we wouldn't get a nonprofit
I see, okay.
if we used that.
Okay.
But it was always that kind of thing about the individuals versus the organization.
Right.
And
obviously then they decided ultimately to let in individuals with the weighted voting.
We decided we couldn't not.
Yeah.
And Shelley and I tended, if people commented as Canadians, we were often the voice
Right.
of, reason and compromise.
What about the definition, or the ultimate decision to have a non-definition? Was that controversial? Yeah.
Oh, and Mark, to lighten the mood, he would always say, "So what is folk music anyway?" No, we're not going there. You can't.
Yeah. Was it controversial though?
A little bit.
Yeah. I mean, Mark tells me today he wants there to be a definition.
Oh, yeah. Does he?
Yeah, that's what he said.
Interesting.
He says, it's a two-sided thing. He says we need a definition to represent to the outside world, and we can come up with a definition that will include everyone who's already involved and everyone who wants to get involved.
I don't think that's true.
So it does sound, and I agree with you. It sounds mutually, it sounds like you've got different, competing things going on there. I don't know that you can.
I don't think that you can because it's like we were saying. I mean, folk is from an outsider looking in.
Yeah.
And so if it's the traditions of the whatever group it is their traditions.
I think Mark ultimately decided that people who needed it would self-select and come on in.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing. That's what we said. People will be self-defining.
Yeah.
Even in terms of size of membership. I mean, if a group, even if they're a bigger member, but they just don't have the money to pay that membership, then they get fewer votes.
Was there a real push for a definition from any source, from anyone? And you don't have to name them if you don't want to. I'm just wondering.
Not really.
Okay.
That I can remember. I mean, God. Because I think, definitely Sandy and Caroline were much more traditional.
Yes.
And and then I was coming from probably the broadest-based, the organization that dealt with the broadest base of musicians
at
that point.
Right.
Because Philadelphia is more traditional, too.
Yeah.
They didn't think they could do world music stuff.
At their festival?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And I said, yes, you can. You don't do it all at once,
Yeah.
It's a process.
They just didn't think they didn't think their audience would go for it. Is that?
Yeah. We can't do what you guys do. And I said, well, we weren't doing it at the beginning the same way.
Right.
It's because Gary became the director and he had all these varied interests and connections and over the years, and people knew what he liked, and they would pick stuff up in their travels and send it to him, and just one by one we started putting the stuff in.
Right.
And because you can never do like an entire program in a year, there needs to be a variety.
Right. Through your years at Vancouver, did you think your audience was kind of aging with you, and not they weren't it wasn't getting filled in at the younger runs?
Yeah.
It's a common problem.
But what I hear now is that a lot of young people are turning to this music because the music that's being presented to them is so empty.
Interesting.
A lot of it. And I went to Fiddle Tunes, which is a fiddle camp out here in Port Townsend about 3 years ago, and a ton of kids from town were there dancing.
Interesting.
And, when we had Michelle Schacht here, or when Ani DeFranco's been here, of course, it totally changed. But,
sure.
She brings in girls, but not boys.
Yeah. It
was like it's quite funny, because we're walking across the site, and there are these guys ahead of us, and they're probably like, 50s. Boy, the girls used to go crazy about the Elvis and the Beatles, and now they're going crazy about Ani DeFranco.
I gotta tell you, young males don't deal with sexual ambiguity too well.
They what?
Young males don't deal with sexual ambiguity too well.
No.
Not at all.
No.
They're just not comfortable there.
Exactly. and the girls are right in there.
Yeah.
And Yeah, it was pretty stunning, actually, the number of Bonnie wannabes on site. The last time she was here, it was kind of scary.
Programmatically, did either Vancouver, and I don't care, Vancouver or the Folk Alliance, did they ever try to undertake any initiatives to deal with the aging of the audience? I guess a festival can do it just by who they book.
Yeah.
How about the Folk Alliance? Did that ever come up?
Well, it has come up. I'm not sure what has been done,
Okay.
if anything.
Mm-hmm.
I think we had lots of big plans when we did the long-term planning, and then discovered that we were in big financial trouble.
Right.
And that's kind of really put the brakes on a lot of stuff.
Did that get reduced to a document? The long-term planning session?
It did.
Okay.
It did. And Phyllis would have it.
Yeah, I'm gonna eventually, when she gets out from under, which she's been for the last few months,
Now
we're
it's
gonna.
not the time for
No, I know. I'm probably gonna go out to Washington. We talked kind of loosely about that months ago. She said, if you come here at a quiet time, it's easier.
Whenever that might be.
I know.
But because she is out of town a lot.
Yeah.
She goes to a lot of different things on the weekends and stuff.
Right.
But yeah, post conference. Definitely.
Yeah, no, I mean, she's been promising me, they tape all the sessions, or they have since Boston, and I could buy them, but to buy all the tapes I would want to do the job I want to do would cost me, I figured out it would cost me something like $1,000 or $1,200, so I talked to Phyllis about this, and she said, I'll loan all of them to you, and you can dub them or listen to them, whatever you want to do, just as long as I get them back, and she probably checked my folk references or something. But she said she's been telling me for months, and she recently did a week ago. She said, I said I'll do it. I'll send them to you. I want to send them to you. I'm going to send them to you.
Yeah.
But I can't get my head above water.
Yeah, no.
So somebody just suggested to me yesterday, it was a great idea. They said, look, pack up a dubbing machine and go there, do it on site yourself, and just do it.
Yeah, high-speed dubbing machine, and then...
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's a great idea, actually.
Yeah, I've just been doing a job for the last couple of years where we dub TV stuff. No, it's a media monitoring job.
Yeah.
But it was real-time dubbing.
Oh, God.
It was okay for 2 minutes.
Yeah.
But long, people say, can you dub this? Well, it's real-time dubbing.
Yeah.
And all of our VCRs are going for these number of hours a day.
Yeah.
Because every newscast of whatever for 5 stations.
Right.
So, I don't think so.
Yeah, you can't do it that way.
You can't do that, between 9 and noon when there's nothing on.
Right.
Provided we're not doing, a 20-page transcript from the radio.
Sure.
But I think that's probably a better idea.
That's what I may do.
They're swamped. And you could probably do other stuff while you're...
Oh, yeah.
Talk to her and whatever while you're doing it.
Yeah, exactly. My goal initially, which when I first presented this to Phyllis, which was just a few months ago, I think it was I'm going to listen to all these tapes from Boston onward, and then I will have culled out every pearl of wisdom that dropped from Anne Blaine's mouth, for example, at a formal, I know you were on some panels because I looked through the thing, and then armed with this information, I'd conduct intelligent interviews, but I could never get the tapes, so I decided to just sort of plunge ahead.
I organized a panel in Tucson, because I did the festivals, I was so sick of just, ever hearing pitch sessions, and so
right.
Had a panel and had a theme.
Just how to put on a festival? Was that the...
Well, it was called In the Barrel and Heading for the Falls, Planning for Disaster as well as Success.
Okay.
And Clark was on it. They'd had an earthquake the morning of their festival the year before.
Okay.
With the police telling people not to stay off the roads.
Yeah.
I had Gary on it because we'd had Expo here in '86.
Right.
And everything, all of the local arts groups lost like a 30%. They had 30% drops pretty much in their attendance.
Yeah.
And, either people were going there or they were avoiding the city altogether. Who else? And so, people actually got into talking about how they handled problems, which I thought was way more useful than just, well, you're big and we can't do that because we're small. It's like, who can do that again? And then you're always going to have people that are new that don't, that are going to want to sort of get into that.
Right.
And It just doesn't fit.
What's your take on what's become, I guess, a recurrent concern among some people that the Folk Alliance is losing sight of traditional music?
Are they saying that?
Yeah, that's a good. Are you like? Let me. Are you joking? Or are you not aware of that? Or are you?
I'm not aware of that.
I went to.
You haven't said that to me, but.
There was a session last year in Albuquerque, and it was called a peer group session. It wasn't a panel. You've seen these things, I'm sure. And it was on traditional music, and I went to it, and the agenda had been set by Phyllis, who was not there, but I learned this later. Charlie Pilzer took the floor, and he had been instructed by Phyllis, or requested by Phyllis, but to raise the issue of whether those more devoted to traditional music wanted to hold a separate meeting at another part of the year, kind of like a regional, but instead of a geographic regional, sort of a genre regional. And the whole idea being that people feel the organization had become dominated by singer-songwriters.
Right.
Anyway, do you have any take on that at all, on the whole singer-songwriter rise?
Yeah, that's always kind of bugged me.
Uh-huh.
But the other thing is that people's definition of traditional music is pretty limited.
Mm-hmm.
And they're talking about really specific traditions when there is a lot of traditional music out there.
You mean people are limited, but they're all limited in a different way?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I mean, my take on what people usually mean by traditional music in the Folk Alliance and most folk festival purviews is Northern European-based traditions.
Okay.
And so, in my view, one of the things that the Folk Alliance has been trying to do is bring in other kinds of traditions, like the
Wailea, is that the?
Yeah, no, the different stuff, like the stuff in the Southwest.
And the chicken scratch music.
Yeah, all that kind of stuff. That's traditional music.
Right.
But people don't think of it as that. When they're immersed in East Coast sea shanties or old-timey.
Bluegrass and old-timey.
Bluegrass and old-timey.
Yeah.
That's what they think of as traditional. I'm sorry, but that's one little genre to me. I mean, it's not little, but it's one genre.
Sure.
And traditional music is the gamut.
Right.
And that's been one of our fundamental arguments, discussions from day one. From day one is that a lot of people who are into what they think of as traditional music are into a really specific tradition.
Mm-hmm.
So then you have Judy Barlitz, who's into the Scandinavian tradition.
Mm-hmm.
And pushes that, and she does a good job of that, and she was instrumental in dealing with the Swedish stuff.
Yeah.
And that was, that's a twist on traditional music.
Sure.
We were doing straight traditional, and then there was other stuff that wasn't. But it was, traditionally based.
Yeah.
And I thought they were fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, that's traditional, presenting traditional music, but it's not bluegrass and old-timey.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I think that, maybe bluegrass and old-timey don't feel as represented as they were to begin with.
Yeah.
One of the other things that I think has happened, one of the things that I really noticed this last year in Albuquerque was that the jamming wasn't happening the same.
How do you mean?
Well, like I'd come into our hotel lobby and there would be nobody playing music.
Yeah, I saw that in Albuquerque too. Everybody sat around just talking and
and
having
I
a
don't know
drink.
if it's because we were spread out. Like in Toronto, people would walk into the lobby of the hotel and take a few steps back because it was insane, 24 hours a day.
Right.
Except when people were in workshops, a lot. But at night, I went to bed around 4 one night, and it was just hopping.
Yeah.
And unfortunately for a few people, it was Valentine's weekend, and the odd couple was staying there and wasn't too happy.
Well.
But I hate to see that, because I think that's where a lot of people get to hear and see and play that kind of music.
Right.
It tends to be what's being jammed, what people are jamming
Yeah.
around, and I thought that was really missing. And I'm not sure why. Even in what was the main hotel where most of the showcases were happening, there wasn't much jamming going on. Well, because they sort of had that more formal thing down right in the lobby there.
Yeah. I remember there was that sunken living room effect in that lobby there. Yeah. I don't know. It didn't happen. I noticed that too. And I'd been away for a few years.
Well, it's the first time that I've noticed it. Now, I'm not sure what happened in Memphis because, like I said, I was in bed by 10 o'clock every night. Crutches.
Yeah.
But nobody mentioned to me that it wasn't happening, and I really noticed it this time. And for sure, whatever was before Memphis.
Right. So you were leaving the board by Boston. That was your last year?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was my last year.
And that's kind of when a lot of people have pegged the singer-songwriter takeover, to use the pejorative.
A lot of that has to do with the guerrilla showcasing stuff.
Uh-huh.
People showing up in order to do that.
Yeah.
And then they've, and if they do register, then they come to things, and they tend to be vocal.
Right.
And dominate. And that's yet another reason why I think we should be more structured in what we're presenting, and I don't think we need the peer groups in quite the same way. Or maybe we can use the peer groups, but things like the festivals thing, there should be a theme to that.
Right.
So that it doesn't all seem like bitching. Or, a huge percentage of it doesn't seem like that kind of bitching, and that's still so unstructured.
Right. Do you see any, there's just more singer-songwriters out there, and they tend to be more ambitious in a different way than traditional groups. Yeah, so I'm wondering if there's a way out of just having it grow greater and greater.
I don't know. We've definitely talked about it. I know that people have been talking about it. And I've been out of the loop to some degree in some ways, because I don't make my living that way, so I'm not involved in those discussions with people.
Right.
Where, you used to sort of, you'd be dealing with something, booking somebody, and you get into that kind of thing.
Sure.
When you're sort of friends with the agent or friends with the musician or whatever. I don't know. They've tried.
How so?
To do things like, insist that people are registered. If they're in that hotel, they must be registered before they can register in the hotel.
Yeah.
And, because you didn't have to do that before. You didn't have to have your conference registration in order to register at the hotel.
I see. Okay.
But the thing is, people sleep any number of people in their room.
Sure.
And it does sort of take over.
Right.
But and by the same, I guess people just still sort of operate anyway.
Yeah.
Organizations meet with each other, and I know that the Canadian festivals, most of the directors go, and so then they all have a meeting while they're there, just totally offline.
Yeah.
And we did a thing about 2001. We had an offline meeting there, and people from the Yukon and Washington State came, and people kind of do their own thing.
Now, are you serving on any committees for planning next year?
Yeah, right now I'm co-chairing the local committee.
Okay.
But I'm probably going to have to step down from that because I have a job that's going to take me out of town for 6 months.
Oh, okay. What are you doing now? You're doing this media?
I'm starting this thing. It's called BC 2000. It's a provincial millennium project. A little dog and pony show touring the province for 6 months. So I do a lot of logistics planning for that, and then I'll be on the road. It's fun. It'll be fun.
Has there been an effort?
Well, it pays a lot better than the arts.
Has there been an effort to get Mexico involved in this North American Folk Music Alliance? Who's if you know, who's pursued that?
Well, I know that Phyllis has, and I know that Doug, who does the festival here, is pursuing some stuff. So
is that Doug Miller? Simpson? Is that Doug who?
Simpson.
Simpson. Okay.
And if Gary was still part of it, he would have been too, because Latin America is his passion.
And that's never worked out either, I gather.
No.
There's no...
Well, there hasn't been money.
Yeah.
And, and that was always another thing, like North America is not just Canada and the U.S. It's hard, it's like, it's not just the U.S.
How does Canada feel? That was my next question. Does Canada feel over?
We're Canada. We're used to it.
Oh, okay.
We're only, I guess we're, 30 million people now.
All right.
We're just, we've had our own problems just getting ourselves organized. We can talk things to death.
Right.
We do it with Quebec all the time.
Now, are you going to be in Cleveland?
Yes. And I still co-chair with Jim Lifetime Achievement.
Oh, okay. And who's getting it this year?
This year, Doc.
Oh, Hazel Dickens, right?
Nope, Doc Watson, Dewey Belfa, and Edith Folk.
Oh, cool.
So it's our first Canadian.
Oh, and Hazel Dickens she's doing oral history. That's what
Is she? She's doing an oral history?
I believe so. That's where I saw her name. Don't swear on that
program yet.
But I think so. That's because I know I had her. Okay.
She wasn't doing that well for a while.
Doc Watson, Dewey Belfa, and Edith Folk. Cool.
And Doc unfortunately can't come. But
and Dewey Belfa can't come.
No. But one of his brothers is surviving.
Is his daughter going to come and play? Christine Belfa and her?
She's going to try.
Oh, okay.
They're performing. Something's happening. There's number of family members coming.
Cool.
Because I found it, I don't know, to me the most affecting things of those have been when the older people have been there. And
yeah.
I mean, it was really neat last year with Jeanette Carter. And, she and her daughter were just like over the moon.
Yeah.
And there was stuff in that thing that they hadn't even seen.
Oh, that's cool.
Because they just don't have much documentation.
Right.
They were poor.
Yeah.
At the beginning, in particular.
Right.
Anyway, people didn't document things like that anymore.
Sure.
They didn't have the technology. So that was quite neat.
Well, I want to thank you for taking the time. It took some time to get this set up.
And so, now, what is it that is it for work that you're doing this, or for?
Yeah, well, more or less. I mean, this is I hope this is a published book. We all hope that all the time, but it's in a very early stage. What I'm and it's gone through, every time I try and do the short description, it changes. And then I go, right, I haven't got down a decent enough short description to please even myself, let alone others, but I think I described it in an email to somebody I wanted to talk to yesterday as I'm looking at, well, let me just, I'm in front of the computer, and that's the quickest way I can do this. I'm going to go to my outbox and see what I wrote to this fellow 15 hours ago. I'm currently researching a book dealing with devotion to traditional and/or vernacular music as a mostly avocational pursuit. So I'm not going to get professional folklorists. Right. My next sentence was, in practical terms, this is best described as a study of the off-maligned species folky. What is it, and what is it up to? What is this program about? Why are all these people who are not professionals per se, I mean, not by which I mean not academically trained, not folklorists. Right, exactly. Why are all these non-folklorist people all across the world pursuing what is indeed a passion for traditional music? What kind of social, cultural, political, what have you, program is kind of under the surface here? What are they about? And I hope to.
Well, and that's another issue too. Is that the folklorists approach it in a totally different way.
How so? Go ahead. That's interesting.
Well, one of the women who used to work at the Vancouver Festival she went to Memorial, got her degree in folklore. And when she started working at a festival, people looked down their nose at her. Because it was not academic, it was not professional, blah blah blah. And it wasn't research, it wasn't
right.
You see that actually getting this stuff presented in front of people was of value.
Yes. And what you present is different. I mean, it's different from what a folklorist might study. Have you ever read?
I used to go. Well, we went to those things. I mean, I remember I went to one, and it was fiddle styles in central and southern Illinois. And it was, I mean, he played some great music, but it was the driest presentation.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh man, like if he could have actually had a couple of those fiddlers there. Yeah. Doing that for people, it would have been astounding. But to have him describe it,
right,
and then, play a piece, them playing the same tune in these, and this is a style from this area, and this is a style from, 40 miles down the road.
Right.
It was so bloody dry.
Yeah.
And, I mean, it was interesting. But to sit through a whole day of stuff like that would be...
Sure. Are you familiar with Neil Rosenberg's book, Transforming Tradition?
I haven't read it.
But you've seen it. Yeah, well, a lot of the articles are pretty academic, tough sledding, just like you described the performances. But there is in that book a wonderful essay by Sheldon Posen, or Shelley Posen. Shelley Posen, and he wrote it in the 70s for a little folk zine, and I guess Neil liked it so much he asked if it could be reprinted here. And he wrote about, he was a folkie who became a folklore student, who became a folklorist.
He became a performer, too.
Yeah, and he wrote about how he went through this process there in which for a while he got so into the academic role that he couldn't present the people he found on a festival stage or in a club because he was ruining them. It was the wrong thing. And finally he couldn't perform any longer because he said, what am I doing? I'm not of this tradition, and the setting is all phony. And he wrote this wonderful line. He said, I'd authenticated myself out of the folk singing business. and then finally he decided that whenever you're going to perform for people who are not your brothers and mothers and grandmothers, you're decontextualized, and the hell with it. Just enjoy the music. And
Don't worry about it.
Yeah, he went through this wonderful transformation of just deciding that there are all sorts of little micro worlds in which people live, and we have to make accommodations or we're going to freeze.
That's right. And it's like the language.
Yeah.
It grows and changes and morphs.
Right.
And I mean, it's sort of like Gary would never hire what he called revivalists. So like the Jeff Warners.
Yes.
Who did grow up steeped in this.
Exactly.
Because his parents were collectors.
Right.
But not because he was living there, growing up with it.
Right.
Which would be more, as Gary would say, true vine. So that was always an issue here.
Yeah.
Is that, he wouldn't hire that kind of act.
Right.
And, of course, you can, in artistic, of course, I used to live here with the guy who does the jazz festival here, and he is heavy into the avant-garde.
Yeah.
And, so the Dixieland people.
So that's not jazz, right?
Yeah, of course, that's
yeah, it always goes on.
It's like, and I don't think there's anything wrong with a director having a point of view as long as they have a broad enough point of view.
Yeah.
If they're so narrow that it's not a folk festival, it's an old-timey festival. Or if they're that narrow, then you need a committee almost.
Right.
But I think it can here the jazz festival. They do tons of avant-garde stuff, but they do real straight-ahead stuff too.
Yeah.
Because they got to that's what makes the money.
Yeah.
People squeaking and squawking aren't going to draw 3,500 people.
Sure.
But Diana Krall will.
Yeah.
And Milton Nascimento will draw lots of people, and Marsalis will draw a pile of people. Yeah.
Coming from Canada, do you see among the Americans that everybody is kind of wedded to what I'm guessing might not be really a part of Canadian consciousness, which is it seems to me a lot of the people in America, certainly someone like Mark Moss, but other people as well, everybody kind of goes back to Seeger and Alan Lomax, and that's their frame of reference for folklore. Just the revival as it kind of grew up from the 1930s into the 60s.
And the 50s and the 60s.
Yeah. And is that somewhat absent in Canada? Like people say, what the hell are these people all about?
It definitely exists in the Toronto area.
Okay.
It's funny because, Vancouver's only been around for 120 years, 125 years.
Right.
If that, what am I saying? I think 86 was our centennial.
Right.
And really there is no, the musical traditions out here are logging camps and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And we don't have like the kind of traditions that they have on the East Coast with, whole families singing and people just growing up with that music around them. Which is more like Louisiana and that kind of thing. Definitely that Scottish, Irish, Celtic kind of, everybody plays a fiddle or an accordion or sings or something. And that doesn't exist out here.
Right.
And we don't have like the prairie traditions either with all the Ukrainian and Russian and all that. So we're a little, we're young out here.
Yeah.
I know that when we in Toronto, that the Gale concert sold out.
Yeah.
And apparently they only sold about 300 tickets to attendees,
Right.
and the rest was to the public.
Hmm.
And they were scalping folk tickets on the street. It was bizarre. But Pete Seeger was there,
Yeah.
and Ani DeFranco was there,
Uh-huh.
and Leahy, and the blues guy, and Tom Paxton, but yeah, they do sort of like Tom Paxton is a bit younger, but
Yes.
But yeah, that Lomax, and it's like the world didn't exist before that.
Yeah, there's this real linkage to these active revivalists, and that's their frame of reference.
Mm-hmm. And Mark's book, I mean, you look at folk roots,
Mm-hmm.
it's way broader ranging.
Yeah.
In terms of the music they represent.
Sure.
And Sing Out is still pretty much, I haven't looked at it just much recently. I mean, I don't subscribe to it.
Yeah.
And I know they changed their format and it's much slicker looking.
Yeah. Yeah, well, you got to compete.
But, yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, because there is competition out there now.
Yeah.
It's like the folk festival here. There is competition now.
Right.
The Jazz Fest, of course, does world music.
Yeah.
And they're only 2 weeks before.
Oh, and I'm hearing it from the record labels as well.
For sure.
There's just so much more competition out there now.
For sure.
Even an outfit like Rounder, which I've been doing a lot of work with, they're feeling it.
And some of the majors are starting to take some of this stuff on because, hey, it's selling.
Yeah, exactly.
And, like advertisers are using it. They wouldn't use it if they didn't think it was going to get people's attention.
Sure.
And, because they're no fools.
Right.
It's what they do. They sell stuff. I know, it's, I don't know. I do think that they are really, a lot of people are tied to that. And that's been an issue from day one.
Really? How so? How is that?
Well, in that there's always been that push-pull between traditionalists
Uh-huh.
and people that have a broader view of the whole field.
Okay. Well...
And that was a big part of trying to write that mission statement with traditional and contemporary being included.
Yeah. Were people opposed to the reference to contemporary folk?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Well, or it was just how to put it.
Okay.
Or, but what is folk music anyway?
Yeah.
This is always marked to throw that in.
Uh-huh.
No, we're not going there.
Interesting.
Because all these people are everybody has their own little take on it. And
Yeah.
they're trying to include everybody. And I'm not sure you can be 100%. You can't be 100% inclusive.
No.
Then people self-define.
Yeah.
And like you said, people go through phases, too. I mean, the guy here who does these Celtic things, this rogue folk music, and he actually was there in Malibu, too.
Mm-hmm.
He listened to, mainstream pop till he discovered the Pogues.
Yeah.
And that got him going into Spirit of the West, which is a local group that did quite well, and they'd be Great Big Sea or whatever now,
Uh-huh.
and Ashley McIsaac and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And that's definitely where his focus is, Martin Carthy and traditional,
Right.
traditionally Celtic tradition based.
Mm-hmm.
But he does a bit of world time. He just did a thing that was more African and whatever recently, and he was kind of, oh yeah, there's this big world out there. Hello, people have been knocking on your head for years to tell you that, but
Right.
people have to come to it themselves. I guess.
Is there a lot of... Have you had to deal a lot with the, I guess... I don't know, at least in America, folk music has political overtones. Just the phrase. It's like, I don't know if that's true in Canada.
Well, for our festival, it sure as hell did.
Okay.
I mean, that's what we do.
Yeah.
That's what we used to do. I mean, we got lots of Americans coming because they wouldn't hear a lot of this stuff. at
Okay.
home.
Right.
Like very out there politics.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah. I mean, do you see it as? I mean, a lot of people think that just presenting folk music, even non-political on the surface folk music, is a political act.
Yeah, I'm not convinced of that.
Okay.
But I think because it is it does come from the grassroots.
Mm-hmm.
It does come from people's hearts as opposed I mean, I don't see rock and roll as having the same hold on people. If you know what I mean, I don't know. I mean, maybe it does.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think that most people who go into that style have this kind of vision that they are going to somehow be a star at some point.
Right.
Whereas most of the people that I know that have played folk music, I mean, they got into it from a real love of the music.
Sure.
Even people that are incredible professionals, it's either what they grew up with or I don't know. They seem different about it.
Yeah.
I don't know how to describe it exactly, but it's not a pose for most of them.
Yeah.
Or it's not a. They're not doing it because it's a style. I don't know how to describe what I'm trying to say, but anyway. And again, I've lost the track of where I even started with this.
Well, I think I understand. You know, we were talking about politics and political, you know, viewing it as a political event.
Application.
Yeah.
And that actually is one of the things that causes some of the problems for people. And I think in anything in the arts, in a way, that's what happens, is that people get into it because of a love. And you can love something that you're terrible at.
Right.
And you can be really good at something that you hate.
Sure.
But I know that in terms of looking at how the festival here was set up, the people that originally got into it, even though they were city organizers and things like that, didn't, because they were so in love with what it was,
right,
didn't put the time into the structure that, say, we put into the structure of the Folk Alliance.
Yeah.
And then in the end, that caused a lot of problems. Because there was no checks and balances, and there was nobody who was really watching what the hell was going on.
Right.
And I found that, I don't know if in the States it's the same, but here it seems a lot of organizations develop that way, and they develop from a little core group who are just so into it. And they end up having all this power, and it becomes personality-based.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not set up for anyone else to be able to take over.
Right.
I don't know.
Well, do you know Randy Pitts, by the way?
Hmm?
Do you know Randy Pitts at all?
No.
Oh, okay, he was on the board after you. I just,
Randy Pitts.
Pitts, P-I-T-T-S.
I'm sure I've met him.
Yeah, okay. He's he's the guy I'm going to room with in Cleveland, so I was just wondering if you...
I know the name, and...
I think he followed you on the board. I believe he was elected in Boston, and then did his 3 years and is now off, but...
and did he enjoy his term?
I think he found it kind of frustrating. I don't think he didn't enjoy it. I mean, Randy loves to talk about this stuff, and he loves to be involved in things. But he's a very, very caustic guy, and so he'll always offer an opinion about what do you want, an issue, a person. Randy.
Yeah, see, I tend not to necessarily.
Yeah.
I don't think that you have to speak on every single thing.
Yeah. So I think he enjoyed it because
I don't know.
Yeah, it gave him material, I believe.
I'm sure. Well,
I'll try and...
One of the things that really gave me a profound respect for was the process of how these things work, and that even though it seems frustrating, it's amazing what actually comes out of this stuff. And then people, you sort of have to let people have their say, but then at a certain time you have to fish or cut bait.
Yeah.
You know, you can discuss up to a certain point, and then you have to get on with it.
Yeah.
And take the vote.
Sure.
And deal with the consequences of that.
Yeah.
And that's just, and I mean, we do it. You do it over and over again. That's just what people do. So, it's funny.
Well, I'm going to let you go.
Right.
I'll try and track you down in Cleveland. I'll be...
Well, we'll be, at certain points, we'll all be at the Vancouver booth. And,
okay.
And I'll be...
Oh, are you gonna run the booth for a little bit, take a turn? Is that what you're doing?
Yeah, we all are.
Yeah, okay. All right, well, I'm going to try and hook up with everyone I've talked to just to put a... I know some of...
Are you going to be any particular place, or are you staying in the main hotel?
I'm staying in the Sheraton, in the main hotel. I'm not going to be in any particular place. I might, I know the Rounders fairly well.
Right.
Sometimes I sit...
I need to phone Ken.
Yeah. Sometimes I sit there and tell him I'm working, because I'm going to be doing a substantial portion of this on Rounder, and I've spent lots and lots of hours in Boston interviewing them about...
Yeah, that's another one.
what they've done. I think Rounder's a very interesting group, and
Yep.
I like what they do, which is just to take kind of anything and put it out there.
Yep.
And assume that people can make a record, sell a record, go on tour. Doesn't always work out, but and they're not always the most organized, but they've survived.
Well, this is the thing. I mean, it's like Vancouver too. It's, you know, the people. It's like through sheer will.
Yeah,
that
and
things continue on.
you know, Ken was always really, you know, he was very happy for me to want to include something on Rounder in this project, and I think he wants kind of
Well, see, we
a legacy.
we distributed them in Canada.
Oh,
here.
okay.
And we started with Kicking Mule and Flying Fish and Rounder, and then add a lot of stuff.
Right.
I think Rounder went to Denon eventually, but
Yeah.
I mean, eventually it got too big for me to be, you know, in the first few years, I'd be me and one other person, you know, a couple of afternoons a week shipping stuff out.
Right.
Now, the fellow that bought it, eventually they sold it, and when things were just falling apart, and
Yeah.
he's got about 11 people, full-time staff, basically just doing distribution.
Right.
Yeah, no, Rounder, that's really interesting, and just sort of how they've made a go of it.
Yeah. They're not sure all the time.
No, I know. And, well, because, yeah, things are always close to the edge.
Yeah.
For everybody, it seems.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're kind of, I think they're comfortable now. They're probably over the hump, but, you know, they worry about it.
Well, and I don't think you can ever take it for granted.
No, nobody's buying mansions, even at Rounder.
No, and, you know, you never know what's happening with the bloody floor mats.
Yeah.
I mean, that was such a pain when they went from, you know, they dumped records.
Right.
Man, now what? We have all this crap. All these discs sitting around.
Well, Ann, I will try and find you just to say hello and continue it
Well,
so I can put a
talk a
name. Thanks very much.
I'm sure it's quite interesting.
Oh, it's fun. It's fun. It's
It's probably more fun for you than it. Looking back, it was more fun for me now than it was at the time.
well, that's always the case.
Yeah, yeah. It's like sort of like childbirth. I think.
You know, the talking is fun. I have to. The talking is fun. I have to sit down at some point and organize a lot of shit and write, and that's